So, this is a story of me exploring a morgue with a few of my friends. Now, this story took place probably when I was in eighth grade. I don't remember specifically, but in eighth grade, on a school day, one of my classmates, who was deemed as class clown, walked in the classroom and said that he found a creepy place near the hospital that looked like a morgue. Now, I'm not sure why he thought that, but you get what I mean. Basically, he asked a few of my friends to like join him if he wanted like to form a exploration group to explore this seemingly placed named morgue. Well, do you know what a morgue is?
It's like a cemetery, right?
Yeah, like it's where the hospital stores the bodies of deceased people. Yeah. So I was one of the persons he asked for like him to join, and at first I hesitated because one of the reasons why I hesitated was he was a bit of a cunt. Okay, I didn't like the guy, and the only thing that this let me decide to join him in this freaking exploration was that fact that we both lived close to each other. It was near the place where we both lived at. Now I decided, yes, I would want to join, and I dragged along two of my buddies, and we decided on a Sunday day, specifically at 3 p.m. to like form and just meet up. That was a meeting place, and the meeting place would be at the class clown's house. So right before the big day came, the Sunday, I went to buy some flashlights because the place that we were going to explore was going to be under the ground. It was pitch black, and the flashlights were actually really cheap. It costs like 50 cents, and they were actually good. Like it would last at least a day, and you could actually change batteries and shit. That day I have discovered that I have a addiction. I had like 20 of them bought because they were so cool. Like to me, it seemed really cool. But after a few days, I just half of them got destroyed. I gave it away, gifted them, and I was only left with three. So on that point, I realized that I was a shitty collector. Anyways, when the big day came, I met with my friend who actually lived close by. One of the few people I dragged along. I went to pick him up, and let's name
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Jimmy. He's a really good guy, taller than me, stronger than me,
Shout out to
and
Jimmy.
okay, funny, haha, I laughed. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Jimmy is a good guy. Yeah, we've been friends for like since sixth grade, basically, and till this day we still like hang out and chill and shit. The only thing, the problem was on that day and time was that he was often getting picked on. Now Jimmy is, well, by his characteristics, people made fun of his jaw. They said that he has a big jaw, and they named him Jawzilla, nicknamed him. Mostly because on one day he got so angry he decided to show his strength, which was on the level of a fucking gorilla, and trashed the place. Of course, he didn't get in trouble. The people who provoked him got in trouble because that's justice, mainly because some of us told that he was provoked. Anyways, on that day, I realized that I should not mess with Jimmy. Even though he's bigger than stronger, I decided to be friends with him. Yeah. Bear in mind, Jimmy is actually my childhood friend as well, but he like went to a different school, and he transferred to my school in sixth grade. Anyways, the big day came. I went to pick him up. We both went to the class clown's place where we were supposed to meet up, and waited for quite a while. A few other people were also present, but the main guy, he wasn't. He was at his home. I don't know what he was doing, but he was being an asshole. He had a nerve to call all these people out and not show up. So, what could I do? I couldn't do nothing, so me and my other friend Michael started throwing rocks at each other as an amusement. He actually hit me in the face. After a few minutes, the guy finally came out, and we both went to the cemetery. The hospital's name was I think it was a Republic Hospital, something like. It had a really cool name, like Republic Hospital. And there was also the hospital itself was half abandoned. The other half was working, other half was completely tarnished and like abandoned. And in that abandoned place, people built a small church, and the church was like beautiful. Everything else was just ugly. So we went past that church and went to the open field. Now the field itself is completely empty. You can see like few buildings and trash around, but on the right side was few collapsed buildings. Now okay, look, now the scene I just gave you sound like a freaking post-apocalyptic, but no, it's not. And there was just like abandoned buildings that was post-Soviet one.
Where do you
Uh,
live? Holy shit.
yeah. The everything that I just told you is like post-Soviet building. Most of them are abandoned, like and shit. The freaking place. When I walked to school, I had to pass a former military academy that was active during Soviet era, like Soviet period. Anyways, oh, and by the way, that building itself had a gate. I think on the gate itself, like the door was sealed off with bricks, but it was graffitied on, and it was I don't know. I think oh yeah, gateway to heaven or like center of the earth, or something like that. I think it was just like a memorial place or like I don't know. Anyways, I forgot to mention that on the day, the big day, I was wearing my jean-like favorite jacket that had a marijuana logo instead of a zipper. Like you had to like to close it up, you have to like use the marijuana logo slash a zipper. I like that jacket a lot. It was my favorite jacket, and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna wear this one because I like it. And when we got there to the supposedly morgue, it was going underground. It has a stair, and the only thing keeping it shut, like sealed off from public, was the rusted gates that were left open. Of course, we were eighth graders. Eighth graders, Jesus Christ. And most of us were chickens, honestly. But I will say proudly, me and my friend Jimmy were the only ones that decided to take the lead to get in the morgue. After a couple of freaking minutes, we got the courage to get inside the freaking thing. We went down, and what I see is a very big open window on our right side, and in front of me stands a metal door that you were supposed like you can only see in a submarine, like with a big giant wheel handle thing.
Like a
That's
security
the
bank door, right?
yeah. That's the thing that stood in front of me, and the only thing that keeping us away from getting inside. Minus the fact that there's a big open window right next to me. And before we got to the door itself, we looked on the right. We looked inside the big window space, and what we see are a double beds, some scalpels on the counters, some I don't know, maybe pills. I don't remember, but there were definitely scalpels, needles, and shit like that on the counters in there, and really shit ton of freaking double beds. Now, if it's a morgue, do you think that they would have used double beds in order to like store the bodies?
No.
Now, yeah, that it's strange to me as well, like how or why they would use that. But well, I actually couldn't like didn't know what it was. It looked like more, but it isn't. Plus, why is it on the ground? Oh, fun fact: a few years later, I think it was months ago today, that they found a big, very big open like subway station, like airline. What the fuck? Subway railway, which had like ton of houses on the ground. The capital itself was built on another city. You get it? Like
Wait.
this. Look. So there's a city. It's on the ground and it's abandoned, and it's like under the capital of the city I live in itself. Like this is like huge shit if you ask me. Which was also built in the Soviet era.
So cool though.
Like when they found it, I was like amazed. Like there's a ton of shit you can do there. Like it was built in case of like emergency and shit. The freaking Cold War and the nuke things like threatening each other, the fucking U.S.
Selfish.
and Union. Yeah, it was built during Cold War, Cold War. Sorry, it was built during Cold War, and honestly, when I looked at it, this shit looks fucking sturdy and awesome. If the nukes dropped, would probably be alive in there. Anyways, scratch that. Now, the door itself, that was the entrance to the morgue, was really typical. It had scribbles on like swastika, death threats, and stuff like that. God is dead and shit like that. Me and Jimmy tried to open it, but a fucking asshole, the clown, the class clown, didn't let us do it. Like every time we went down to do something, to get inside the thing, he would like scream, like, run, oh shit, there's something there. He was an asshole. And at one moment when he did that for the third time, I ruined my favorite jean-like jacket with marijuana logo on it, and I regretted the day I came there. Sadly, we couldn't get inside the thing itself. The door, me and Jimmy tried to pry it open, as well. It just wouldn't budge. Plus, we were weak and shit like that. We couldn't get inside, and we had to go because some of the people saw us and were like, "Get the fuck out of here" and shit like that.
From the hospital?
What?
From the hospital? Those people?
Yeah,
Or.
yeah. Came from the hospital, like, "Get out of here! Don't! What are you doing?" and shit like that. And we just ran. Like, people weren't chasing us. Like, they couldn't give a fuck. They just came out, get out of here, yelled at us, and that's it. We left. That's the story of me almost getting inside a morgue and ruining my favorite like jacket whilst having a flashlight addiction.